Okay, folks, here's a quick review of the Big Red Predator figure that was released by NECA as part of their Predator line of products. I picked this up on BigBadToyStore.com for $17.99, and I also got another Big Red Predator at Toys R Us for $8.55 with some reward coupons for my Mint on Mint card figure collection. This is part of the 7th series of Predator figures that were recently released. Now, if you're not familiar with this Predator, he was shown at the end of the 2003 Batman fan film titled Batman Dead End. I'll include a link in the description below for those who haven't seen it. Alright, when I first got the figure out of the blister pack, I really liked what I saw. NECA has done an absolutely wonderful job in making this Predator. I think he looks really great, and the helmet design is really nicely drawn on this figure too. And to be honest, it was one of the first things that attracted me to this Predator when I first saw him. I also like the gold-colored wrist blades. And I was also glad, on a personal note, to not have that intense chemical smell greet me when I first opened the package. Paint-ups on this figure were, for the most part, nicely done. The only thing that I found wrong with it was that some of the netting was mispainted on the left hip, but thankfully, it's not too noticeable. The wrist blades on the left forearm, they seem to be a bit on the loose side. They seem to have a hard time staying in the retracted position. One thing that I have found interesting in comparing various Big Red Predators in the package in Toys R Us and other brick and mortar stores is that the sashes, they never look alike. Some look new, while some have a weathered look. Also of note, if you find one of these in a brick and mortar store, like your local comic shop or Toys R Us, make sure that the wrist blades on his left forearm aren't warped in the package, as I've noticed several that were like that. Now, speaking about the sashes, I'm going to stop here for a moment. Let me bring in the other Big Red Predator that I have in the package, and we'll get a look at both of them together. And you can see here's the sash on the open figure that I have, and it's rather beat up. And the one that's in the packaging over here, it looks almost virtually brand new. So I don't get that, but whatever. I mean, they both look cool, so no problems there. All right, put this aside. Continue on with the review. Alright, now, most of the joints on this figure worked well right out of the package. I've had no problem in moving the shoulders, the left elbow, the wrists, the knees, or the feet. The right hip and right elbow were both frozen solid when I first opened up the packaging on this figure, but they are slowly beginning to free up with repeated movements. And I emphasize the word slowly. The left hip, on the other hand, felt very loose, but it does feel like it will stay in place, so I'm not really overly concerned with it. Alright, so let me pause here, and I'll zoom in and give you a closer look as to what this figure looks like. Just an absolutely beautiful figure, don't you think? Alright, Big Red came with 4 different accessories, so let me pan down real quick and I'll show you what they are. The figure stands that you see him standing on were not included in the package and were purchased by me separately. Alright, first up, he came with a set of interchangeable hands. As you can see, the detailing on them is really nicely done, and they are very easily swappable. Okay, next up, he came with this pair of Katana Swords. These are nicely detailed with a nice weathered look on the blades. I have noticed that the swords seem to feel quite fragile, and the shorter sword doesn't seem to want to go into its scabbard very well. So my advice to you is just take your time and very gently move this shorter sword in and out of its scabbard when you first open up the figure packaging. If you try to jam it into the scabbard, you'll most likely wind up breaking it, and you won't be having a fun time when that happens. All right, back to the figure itself. What I'll do now is a quick 360 of Big Red and let you see what he looks like from all sides. So here he is from the front, from the left, here he is from the rear, from the right hand side, finally here we are once again from the front. So overall, I'd have to say that this figure is a really nice rendition of Big Red in this scale. The only minor problem that I have with this figure is with the wrist blades being a bit too loose for my liking. But other than that, I think this is definitely a must-have for your Predator collection. He gets an extremely high recommendation from me, so if you happen to find him online or in your local brick and mortar store or Toys R Us, comic book store, whatever, purchase him immediately. All right. On that note, take care and stay tuned for my next review. Have a good one. Oh, before I forget, I also wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to the MU Collector Club website. I will provide a link to them in the description below, and they cover many toy lines, including Marvel, DC, NECA, Masters of the Universe, all that good stuff. Okay, take care, and we'll see you soon.